Welcome, Michaela. This is going to be so much fun. We have a lot of epic things planned. We have an hour of absolute power. So if you are a health coach, this is going to be probably one of the most productive hours that you could have if you're trying to grow your health coaching business.
Yeah, we're just going to fire through the questions one by one.
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions planned. So we're just going to take turns one by one. Michaela's going to ask a question. Then I'm going to ask Michaela a question back and forth for the hour until we run out of time.
Perfect. Without further ado, let's start the questions.
Yeah. Do you want me to kick them off?
You kick us off.
Okay. Michaela, what are the 3 key things that you need to grow a successful health coaching business?
Yeah, and I feel there's so many different ways that we could take this, right? And I found it hard to condense it down to 3 because there's obviously the mindset aspect of growing a business, and your business is only as good as you are. But then there's also the system side of the business. I'm going to start with the mindset side of being a coach and being able to grow a business, and especially a coaching business, right? Because for me personally, there's a huge difference between being a coach and a solopreneur and that being a business and then growing into being a bigger business. So the very first thing I would say is emotional resilience.
Emotional resilience. Okay.
You need to be able to get knocked down and get back up again.
Okay.
You know that song I just played in my head all the time? I get knocked down, but I get up
like
again.
a little rubber bouncy ball, boing, boing, boing.
Literally. Because you are having so many things coming from so many different angles. Your client's emotions, your emotions, money stuff. Like, you are wearing so many hats. You are literally the jack of so many trades within business. You need to be able to have emotional resilience to keep going when time gets tough. Because if this is easy, everyone would be doing it. So that is my first one, emotional resilience. What would you say is number 2?
Well, I would say more important than emotional resilience is having a client generation system. This is very Michaela and me. I'm more systems focused, because if you can't get any clients, you don't need to be emotionally resilient. I mean, you'll need to be, because you won't be able to get clients and won't have a business that runs, but you won't have other problems that require you to be emotionally resilient. So I'd say number 1 for me would be having a consistent way to generate clients so that you actually have a business. That'd be, for me, what I would say is number 1 or 2.
Yeah. And then I guess the third one would absolutely be an effective service or program, right? Like, you're not growing a business unless you have a service or program that actually gets people results. Word of mouth, referrals. You want that. You want good reviews. If you don't have something that is effective, that gets incredible results, that doesn't get people talking, how are you going to grow a business?
Yeah, I feel like most coaches, this is a generalization, but from what I've heard, there's a bit of a negative stigma in the coaching industry. Maybe not so much the health coaching industry, but the coaching industry in general. And I think a big part of that is because the results are just shit, to be honest with you. So if you can find a way to get your clients amazing results and find a vehicle that delivers consistent results, like a program or some kind of service that consistently delivers amazing results for clients, you're going to have so much of an easier time growing.
Yeah, and I think in the coaching industry, it's so important to remember that you are basically your business as well. People are signing up to work with you because of who you are, maybe what you've overcome, your own story and journey, of course, your expertise and how you can help them. But lean into that. The more that you keep growing and evolving and challenging yourself, I always say you can only take your clients as high as you go. As you keep growing, you're going to take your clients with you. And you can obviously then pour that into your service and your program that you deliver.
Yeah,
so I reckon those are the top 3 most important things when it comes to growing a successful health coaching business.
Cool. And did you want to go for the second question, ask me anything?
Is niching down really as important as everyone says it is?
Niching down. Look, everyone will tell you to niche down, and I think it's very industry dependent. Like, if you are a nutritionist or a dietitian, that is a pretty broad field. Like, you could help people with, I don't know, cancer, right? Like, you could help them to eat if they have cancer. You could also help someone with diabetes, or help people with eating disorders, or help people lose weight. It's a huge playing field. So for a dietitian or nutritionist, I think it's so important to have a niche. Now, that doesn't mean you have to lock yourself in a box, but to effectively market your business and communicate with potential clients, you need to be really clear with what it is that you do. If you say, I'm a dietitian, there are a million dietitians out there. Why would they go to you? But if you said, I am a dietitian who specializes in helping young women or women over the age of 40 to insert whatever that might be, it might be stop binge eating, for example. Women over 40 to stop binge eating. That's a very specific subset of the market. And if you are a 45-year-old woman who has been struggling with binge eating, you're going to be a lot more likely to want to work with that person than, say, just an average dietitian.
By trying to please everyone, you'll please no one.
Yeah. So I guess in summary,
Yes.
niching down is probably quite important the more I talk through it, if you're a health coach.
Absolutely. And I think for a lot of coaches, it's overcoming the fear of people not agreeing with what they're saying. And I always say, you could be the ripest peach in the bunch and there will still be somebody who doesn't like peaches.
I like strawberries. Cool. Michaela, as an online coach, do you need a website or can you just rely on social media?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to throw that one straight back to you.
Oh, I love that. I would say that starting out, don't overcomplicate it. I see so many health coaches and other online coaches. They start their business, they create some intricate client generation system or what they think will work with like some back-end CRM stuff. They create a website, they create a social media, but they actually don't do the business part, which is getting clients. So when you start, just look at the bare basics, and the bare basics doesn't include a website. Start a social media profile, learn to market yourself, put content out there, have fun with it. Then you can go to that next step, which is creating a website, building a bit more authority. Because if you have 1,000 health coaches out there that you're trying to choose between, oftentimes you'll choose, you being the client will choose the one who looks more legit. And that's typically the person who has a professional website on top of Google reviews, on top of a social media profile, on top of, basically they're everywhere, okay? So when you get started, not as important, but in the long run, yes.
What about a landing page? Obviously, a landing page might be a little bit different to a full built-out website. Where does that come into play with
So you mean, I think when Michaela means talking about landing page, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're talking about for a specific program or service, or are you talking about like to get leads?
For a specific program or service.
I think that if you have, let's say, an 8-week program, I think it's not super, super important, but relatively important that you have proof that your pricing is as you say it is on the call. So if you say, oh yeah, my prices are $1,800, and you have a website that says for this program $1,800, it makes it a lot more legit. So I think a landing page can be good for a specific program or service. I would 100% do that before you build out a full website. That's the important thing. That being said, I don't think it's the most important thing. I think you can close enough people on the phone if you just learn to sell on the phone, book appointments, and then just communicate what is in your program and how you can help people, and then sell them there.
Yeah. So James, tell us, what's the most overrated marketing strategy for online coaches?
The most overrated marketing strategy, that has to be relying on social media to get clients. 100%. Would you agree?
I feel like you're going to ruffle a few feathers with that one.
Yeah, well, every single online coach and their dog just tells everyone to post on social media. It's like a coach circle jerk of everyone just posting the same videos on social media and trying to get clients. And that's why every coach has 50 followers or 75 followers, or they might even have 10,000 followers, but are they even legit because their videos get 3 likes and 50 views? So I think people just get too caught up with social media is the way to get clients. And if everyone is zigging, then you should probably be zagging and find a different way to get clients. That's not to say that social media cannot help you to get clients. It 100% can. And I know a lot of different health coaches out there that do use only social media to get clients. But for a beginner health coach who wants to get into the space, you should not look at that as a short-term, quick, easy way to get clients. It has to be a long-term brand building exercise when growing a social media page, and then find other ways to get clients in the short term. What do you think?
I completely agree, because there's only so many times that you can sell to your 50, 100, 200 followers, right? And you're losing so much trust with them as you continuously try and sell. So for sure.
Yeah, it's like a glass of water, and every time you post valuable content, you fill that glass up with value. Every time you ask and say, hey, I've got this program, only 3 spots left, join. You tip that water out, that trust out that you've built. And if you keep doing that, you're just tipping more and more water, and you never build up enough trust to actually make a difference. So you might get people when you first sell to your social media, but they'll start to dwindle down unless you can get a really consistent way to bring in new organic followers. Like, you're amazing at creating content, then it might work.
Yeah, and I found that when I tried to take that approach of just selling through social media, my content became so inauthentic. I was trying to hit my head against a brick wall. I hated it. And honestly, social media became a chore. It was something that I had to tick off, and I dreaded it. And my content, like the quality of content, went down so much.
Yeah. And would you say that now it's more of a fun, creative place for you?
Absolutely. It's a creative outlet. It's a place where I can just be me. I can share whatever I want to share.
We love you.
And like some people relate to it, some people don't, but it doesn't have to please everyone at every point in time. And it means that I don't have to get on there and preach my program. I love my program, love my service, love all of our clients, but I get to show them where they get to by doing my program without it being a sales tactic ramming it down their throat.
It's almost like you just keep giving, give
Yeah.
until they ask, until
Exactly.
they say, hey, how do I work with you?
Absolutely. And I'll give them the tips and the tricks and everything they need until they are ready to fully commit and have that extra support and join the program.
Cool. And on that point, if you had to, how would you use your social media to get clients?
Ooh, good question. Shopfront. Use it as a shopfront.
What does that
And
mean?
so it means, think about when you're walking down the street, right? And there's the mannequins that are literally in the front of the shop. You kind of look at them. And if you like the outfits, you're like, ooh, I might go in and I might have a little look-see around and see what else is there. That's what you want to use your social media as. And I even think about it. Think about when you think of a restaurant that you want to go to, or you think of a new clothing store that you want to test out. You look them up on social media. It is the same with your business and your coaching services. Anyone who is going to invest in you and your business, they are going to do their research. They're going to hunt your social media down and they are going to click on your profile. If what is on your profile doesn't land with them, they don't like what they see, they're walking back out of that shop. Or they might never even enter in the first place. But if they go onto your social media and they're like, wow, this girl's got some personality. You know, I love what she's about. I love her messaging. She's relatable. I get it. She's been through what I've been through. They connect with you. They trust you. They understand you. They're now in your world. So obviously that is one way to use your social media.
Got it.
And as you were talking about earlier, that's a long-term play, right? Like you're not going to gain 50 clients overnight through that strategy, but you are building long-term trust. There are some other ways that you can use social media. Do you want to share what some of those are with us?
Sure. If I had to, gun to my head, I had to get social media clients from social media within the next week as a coach, what I would do is, I would, if I've been building my trust for long enough, I would do a post being like, hey, I got a couple of openings available. Be very careful with those. Don't do them too often. Otherwise, once again, you use up all your trust. But do use them sparingly. If you've built up trust over time and you have some gaps, advertise it just once or twice. Apart from that, DM all new followers and just say, hey, I see that you're new here. Thanks so much for the follow. I've got this free guide. I've also got this other free guide. Which one of these would you prefer? And then send them that guide and then get into a conversation with them. Let's say you have a guide for binge eating and a guide for how to stop food noise in your head. Let's say they say, oh, can I have the guide on the binge eating, how to stop binge eating? Send them that guide for free and then straight away ask them, is binge eating something you struggle with? And then get into a conversation. They might be like, yeah, I've been struggling for a long time. And then be like, hey, I think I could help you with that. This is back and forth after a couple of questions. I think I might be able to help you with that. Would you be open to getting on a call with me? And then book a sales call that way. So DM all new followers coming through. And if you haven't following already, then look at who your most engaged followers are. Who are the people who are watching all of your stories, engaging with all of your content, commenting on your posts, who aren't already customers? DM those people and say, hey, thank you so much for the support. I noticed that you like all my content. It doesn't go unnoticed. I have these free guides, and you just exact same thing. I've got these 2 free guides. Which would you like to have? And then you get into a conversation with them. So you're basically starting conversations by giving someone a free thing first so they get value. You're saying, hey, do you want to jump on a call to see if I might be able to help you to fix this issue that you are having? And then booking sales calls that way and then selling them into your program or service. So if I had to, gun to my head, use social media to get clients without anything else, without ads, without any other strategies, that's probably what I would do. DM is key here. Sell in private. So don't just be posting sales shit all the time. Sell in private. Provide value in public to everyone on your social media, but then sell in private in your DMs.
I love that. And I think it's so much more personal that way as well, right? And I think there's a lot of things that are out there with sales that will definitely feel icky. That is not icky. And it means you're giving them the option, right? Because if they don't want something, they're not going to reply, or they'll tell you they're not interested. Like, it gives people the option to opt out. Whereas when you are constantly posting on your stories, it's almost like you're trying to force feed them.
True. Yeah. And on the matter of social media, do you think likes and how many followers you have matters if you're trying to run a business as a health coach?
Nope.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And I think this is something that you have to work through as a coach and growing a business, because we definitely live in a world at the moment where it's very easy to get caught up in likes and followers and the numbers and the metrics of social media. But you have to remember, and the easiest way to do this is, even if you have 50 followers, 10 followers, 20 followers, doesn't matter. Picture them in a room and picture yourself speaking to them.
So if you have 500 followers, that's a pretty filled up room.
That is a huge room of people that you're speaking to. And when I was growing my social media, I would always, when I was creating content, I would picture that I was just talking to one person. Just that one person. And if that post only got one like and it resonated with one person, my job was done. If it got one view, my job was done.
Yeah.
Because one person saw it. And even in the thing with social media is as well, you might have people who don't follow you. They never engage in your content, yet they're watching. They're watching what you're posting. They're resonating with what you're posting. And I have had people join our program who have mentioned to me that they have been following me for 12 months plus. Maybe they only started following me like a month prior to reaching out, but I'd been, in the background for them. They'd been resonating over time. And I think that's where the value comes. So no, your likes don't matter, and no, your followers don't matter. And especially if you're only focusing on your social media as your shop front, it most definitely doesn't matter.
So if you have a different client generation strategy, you're sending people to your social media, they're checking you out, they're Googling you, they're finding your social media profiles, and they see those videos, they see that you are an expert in your field, then that's the shop front side of it that you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can let go of that number metric, again, it loops back to you being able to add your personality into it. It's fun. Let it be fun.
Let it be fun. Also, the power of the social media overlord Zuckerberg, they can take your social media account away at any time. They can shadow ban you. They can fully ban you off the platform. And if your business is relying on social media and that happens, that's your business gone.
Scary stuff.
You don't own your audience in social media. And that's what most online coaches do not realize.
Nope.
Well, they might realize it, but they don't think about it. They go, oh, it won't happen to me. But I've spoken to quite a number of people. Yesterday, I was speaking to someone who got their account banned for 30 days, and they relied on social media to get clients. And that 30 days, they just moved to a new country. They just signed this villa lease in Bali, quite expensive. And then all of a sudden, their social media gets shut down for 30 days, and they had no way of getting new clients, and they kind of freaked out and panicked.
It's scary stuff, and that's what you have to remember. That, like as you said, you don't own your followers, and it can disappear overnight.
Yeah, for sure. So if not social media, then do you think health coaches should run ads? What's your opinions on that? Should we pay money to get clients?
You know what is so funny about this question is, remember when we first started running ads, and I was kind of in this vortex of social media with coaches who coach coaches, and they were very anti-ads. And I remember you pitched the idea to me. We're like, we have to start running ads if we're going to grow and scale our business to where we want to take it to. And I said, no. Apparently it's a masculine thing. Apparently like a female health coaching business, like it's icky, it's tacky. We shouldn't run ads. It's like, I don't have a real business. And I remember you sat me down and were like, if you want to have a successful business, you're going to have to rethink this mindset. And that's when I did and worked through it. Obviously, there was so many different things of ads that I had to work through. And I think one thing we can even touch on is like the financial aspect of investing in ads to get that return. But back on, should we run ads? Well, if I could go back and tell younger Mick back then, I'd be like, it's not a masculine thing. And it will quite literally change the trajectory of your business if you start running ads.
Yeah, it's not a masculine thing at all. You think of all the biggest businesses in the world. Apple,
Nike.
Microsoft, Nike, Adidas, all these big name brands, they spend hundreds of millions, if not billions per year on ads. Some companies don't, but very few. They're very few and far between. Most, 95% of these biggest companies in the world who you know and love spend hundreds of millions or billions on ads. So if ads are good enough for those corporations doing trillion-dollar corporations like Amazon, then they're good enough for little old Jenny and her $2,000 per month health coaching business.
A little old Mick.
A little old Mick. So if you think, oh, ads are sleazy, you know what I think is sleazy? Posting 100 sales things a month, being like, join my program, 3 spots left. Jenny, you have no clients right now. You don't have 3 spots left. You have 30 spots left. Don't lie to everyone. Stop posting sales stuff on your social media. That is sleazy, not ads.
Yeah. And it's obviously like it's made a huge difference in our business. So yes, I would absolutely say that you should run ads. You should at least learn how to do so.
When should people start running ads?
Great question. I feel like that's your area of expertise.
Yes. I have a marketing background, which is why Michaela's throwing that question over to me. I would say as soon as possible, but you need some proof under your belt. So reach out to friends, reach out to family, say, hey, do you know anyone who might be interested in having me help them with X? It can be for free. Start for free. Get results first. Build confidence in that area, and then start charging for the service. As soon as you get to that point, that's when you should look to start running ads to get clients. Otherwise, if you're relying on social media or organic search engine optimization, all that kind of stuff, that's going to take time. We want to shortcut how long it's going to take to get clients when you start a business. And the best way to do that is with paid advertising.
And you don't have to start with a big budget, right?
No. You can start with $15, $20 a day. That's $600 a month. I get that. Not everyone has $600 a month. But if you don't have $600 a month, drive Uber, work part-time in a cafe, do what you can to get some money to start your business. That's the reality of business. You need some money to start. If you don't have the money, if you don't have $600 a month to try running ads, then post 10 times a day on social media. Do everything you can to go big, get viral. But just understand that's going to be a long-term thing. Unless you get lucky and get viral, unless you're amazing at creating videos that do well on social media, then you're going to struggle to grow your business organically from a no social media following to big social media following with clients and everything quickly. So yes, run ads, do what you can, strip, I don't care, go beg on the side of the road, get some money, $600 is all you need to start running ads, and you'll learn. You'll screw up to start with, but you'll learn, you'll adjust, and then over time as you train the algorithm, if you're doing Facebook ads, it'll need time for the pixel to warm up and work out who your customers are. So understand that it's not going to be like, okay, I'm putting $20 in and day one I'm going to get $300 out. That's not going to happen. It'll take time. You might get lucky. You might be bang on the money early on, especially if you have experience with ads in the past. But treat it as an investment that you're making in yourself and your business, and then actually do something about it. Look at the data, see how you can improve things, and over time you'll have your ads working super, super well.
You have to be willing to invest money to make money, for sure. And it's scary. And I think a lot of coaches definitely have to work through some money blocks, some money beliefs around that. And especially when people first start out in business, it can get very exciting when you first start earning the first lot of money that you want to take it out for yourself. You have to reinvest it back into your business.
Yeah.
It's the harsh reality of growing a business. But if you want to grow, there's literally no other option.
I feel like that's consumers in general. People, even employees. You get a bit of money and then the paycheck's gone a week later.
Yeah, and I think we also live in a world where we're very instantly gratified, right? In the sense of everything is at the reach of our fingertips. You want a new outfit, same day delivery. You need a quick dopamine hit, you pick up your phone and you're on TikTok. Your money check comes in from a new client and you want to take it out and use it for yourself. Rather than that delayed gratification of reinvesting the money and waiting. And it could be 6 months, 12 months, 24 months down the track. But it will, every single time that you do it, and we have seen it again and again and again, like the return on investment every time.
So what should people be reinvesting in to get those high returns in your business?
Everything that you can. Yourself is a huge one.
How do you invest in yourself?
Level up. Find a mentor. If you don't have the money to invest in a mentor, read books. do online courses. There is so much free stuff out there. Use it to your advantage. If you have the means to do so, absolutely invest in somebody, because I feel when you try and stretch yourself, you make it work. When you rip that safety net out from underneath you, you do everything in your power to make it work. So get uncomfortable. Learn more about yourself. But then in your business, ads, like we were just talking about. Invest in the ads. Invest in, if you are growing quickly, invest in hiring out.
Hiring a virtual assistant or a full-time employee. Yeah.
Absolutely. Put your, like, where your skills are, keep them and use them. And then get that assistance in the other areas that you feel like you can outsource.
Yeah. If you have leverage and if you, as Michaela said, if you're good at something, then focus on that one thing. But if it's not making you money, then you got to work out, okay, what's the most important thing? What's generating the highest returns? Is it editing the videos? Probably not. Unless you are a world-class video editor and you make the best videos out there that go viral because they're just so well edited, then you probably shouldn't be spending your time on a video editor. So as soon as you can, outsource that to somebody, an agency, a freelancer, whatever you can. I mean, if you want to go hard on video, you can get a full-time employee, but you probably don't need that to start with. And then focus more on sales calls. Then focus more on something else. Focus more on ideas. As you grow your team, the highest leverage activity that you can do changes.
Yeah, 100%.
And you get to a point where the highest leverage activity you can do is just managing, not sales for yourself. It's just managing your team and training them. And most health coaches won't be there yet, but that's like the end of the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
To start with, just spread yourself as thin as don't spread yourself as thin as you can, but you will need to be spread thin. And then look at things that you can, if you are too thinly spread, look at things that you can outsource when you get the money to do so.
Jack of all trades. Yeah, for sure. So James, should you offer a low ticket or a high ticket program first?
Well, I see a lot of coaches struggling to sell high ticket programs. So they're like, oh, instead of selling this $5,000 or $3,000 thing, I'm just going to try and sell a $50 ebook, or maybe just a one-off $100 call where it's like a 1 hour of my time to help them with some health thing, right? And the problem with that is that it's almost impossible to scale, especially if you want to run ads. If you want to run ads, you need that margin in there. If you spend $60 to acquire a customer and that customer is paying you $50 for an ebook, unless you have a really good back-end system to make more money in the back end, then you're just going to be losing money every customer. And most health coaches and most other online coaches, they do not have a good back-end system when they do start out. So they're going to be losing money. Maybe in the long run, you can move to low ticket and you can do that. You can pay $100 to get a client and make $50 same day, because you know that in the long run, in 6 months' time, that client is going to be worth $5,000 to you.
Yeah.
But that's for experienced coaches. So for new coaches starting out, always go high ticket program. You don't need as many clients. Let's say you want to earn $10,000 per month. If you have a $2,500 program, maybe it's a 3-month program, maybe it's a 4-month program, whatever it might be, you only need 4 clients sold into that per month.
Yeah.
And if it's a 3-month program, that means you're going to be working with 12 people at once. That's very, very manageable for most people to have 12 clients at once. If you have weekly calls with them and, let's say, voice and text message support, all that kind of stuff, very achievable to have 12 clients, and that's $10K a month right there.
Yeah. I also think, though, it's important to touch on the fact of when you're just starting out, you also want to get the experience, right? And if that means offering your service for free, and that might ruffle a few feathers as well, because you hear a lot of the charge what you're worth, which, yeah, absolutely, to an extent.
But you're not worth anything when you start.
You want to get the experience. You want to learn what works, what doesn't work. And then you can absolutely scale from there and increase your pricing. But I would say maybe for a lot of people, you might need to readjust your expectations when you very first start out. I offered all my services for free.
Yeah.
When we first started out.
Even in the health coaching business, although that's doing super, super well right now, your health company, we were like, okay, we can help other health coaches to have a similar kind of business that's doing 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K per month, all that kind of stuff. But despite that, when we created the Health Coach Growth Hub, where we help other health coaches, we took on a bunch of clients for free. But we have that experience. But we don't have as much experience with helping other health coaches, which is what we wanted to get experience in.
And you will know, like, it will feel so out of alignment with you if you're selling a program for thousands of dollars and you don't, to your core, believe wholeheartedly and know, because you have experience, that you can get the most incredible results possible. it will feel icky. And when things feel icky, that kind of leads also to burnout.
Burnout, and also subconsciously you sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
You don't sell hard enough because you don't fully believe, you don't have full conviction that your program or service will help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Michaela, I want you to describe the kind of coach, the kind of online coach that will make it versus the kind of coach that will flop. So what do you think? Like, what traits does a coach that will make it have?
Well, I think even going back to the first one that I said earlier of emotional resilience, that is really important, because without that, you will hit burnout, which we will talk about in a second. But I think one of the biggest ones is mindset work, constantly working on yourself to, as I say, like, your business is honestly only as good as you are. You are your business. So you need to make sure that you can hold space for your clients, that you can move through all of the other tasks in business that you have to be able to do, that you're running the show. But you also need to make sure that you are still showing up for you, that you are doing the things that light you up outside of work and business, because it very, very easily can consume every waking moment of every day. And if you let that happen, you will hit burnout. You will start to resent your clients. You will start to resent social media. And then that leads to self-sabotaging behaviors. And I always say, you win or you learn. There is no failure. So if you can change your mindset to know that you're going to be able to move the needle forwards, well, actually, you're moving the needle forwards either way, aren't you? Because you're either taking the lesson from it, or you're like, well, that was a great win. Like, cool, onwards and upwards. You only fail if you give up. And so what makes the key difference, I wholeheartedly believe, it's your mindset, because that is the umbrella of everything that comes underneath it. How you show up, the service and the product that you deliver, how you reinvest into your business and yourself, how you hire out, how quickly you actually take risks, how easily you fall down and get back up again, because business is not easy. It is not easy. There are so many days where I'm like, have I made the right decision?
Yeah. Despite what you see online, it's
Literally
definitely not easy.
And I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but there are so many days where you have self-doubt, imposter syndrome. You're like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. You're just learning and you're growing.
Agreed. What it takes to be successful in business as an online coach or an online health coach specifically, it's not easy per se, but it's simple. There are simple things that you can do that are repeatable and have been proven to help you grow your business.
Yeah.
But doing those things, it can be tiring.
Absolutely.
It's not easy. And it made me think when you were talking that you are kind of a car. Your business is a car. You get clients in the car and you deliver them to the destination. And you can just keep driving forever. And over time, your oil levels will get low and you can still probably keep pushing on a bit longer. But eventually your engine, your motor will blow up and you won't be able to go any further. And that's when you've sabotaged yourself to the point of, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. And you've blown your business up. So you have to take the time to go to the mechanic, fill your oil levels up, get your engine serviced, take your car to the car wash every now and then, do a bit of nice polishing, maybe even get your car wrapped every now and then, you know, change the color up, make things fun. And then you'll be able to continue for the long run, as long as possible.
Yeah. And knowing that there might be some sacrifices that you do have to make along the way. Like if you have to drive a little bit further before you get to the mechanics, sometimes it's just what you have to do. And you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, there's sprints and there's marathons, and you kind of have to, ultimately business is a marathon, but there will be sprints, and sometimes you will have to drive that extra mile, work that extra hour, work a 100-hour week.
Yeah.
But you don't need to make that the norm.
Nope.
Cool. Let's talk about sales for a minute, because it's something that a lot of health coaches aren't super comfortable with, and they feel it's icky to sell. So what do you think? Do you think you need to be selling on sales calls, or can you sell your programs as an online coach in the DMs?
Sales calls.
Why?
All the time, sales calls. You want to get them on the call. You want to know who they are as well. Again, if you're a coach, you're selling you, right? You want to make sure that you're working with clients that you align with, that you know you can wholeheartedly help. You want to build that connection with them. I would say selling in your DMs is more icky than getting on a sales call. Personally, I would rather carve out 45 minutes to an hour and a half of my day to be on a call, to understand this person, to know their struggles, exactly what their goals are, and then 110% be able to be like, yes, this is for you. This is going to quite literally transform your life, and me and my team can help you get there. Rather than being in my DMs and being like, hey, what's your goal? X, great, here's my program. That feels icky.
Yeah, and so many business coaches say, oh no, you don't need to sell on calls, just sell on the DMs. You shouldn't need to get on a call with people.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But I would almost say, like, why would you not want to get on a call with the people who are going to be
Are you too good
in
for
your
them?
service?
You're too good to jump on a call. Is that a waste of your time?
Yeah, like, you don't, obviously some people don't want their day to be full of calls. Sure, I get that. But that, like, your clients are your business, right? You want to build that connection.
Yeah.
You want to have the people in there that you want to have in there.
I think it really depends on what services you sell. If you're selling low ticket offers, as I mentioned before, you need to be further along if you want to sell cheap offers to start with. If you're selling that, of course, don't jump on a call to sell a $100 program or ebook or software service, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you are in the high ticket game as an online coach selling a high ticket program, you 110% need to be booking sales calls, because you cannot send a link for a $5,000 program after never seeing someone or someone never seeing your face and expect them to buy through the DMs. It's just not going to work. Get on a call with them. Let them see that you're a real person. Let them see your expertise. Let them vibe with you. And then it's going to be so much easier to actually close them on a $1, $2, $3, $5, $10,000 product.
And they're going to get better results because they're fully in and you're fully in.
100%.
Yeah. And also learning how to sell in general is one of the best skills that you can ever learn for your business.
Exactly. So if you are an online coach out there who does not you do sales calls, this is your message: to get off your high horse, start doing sales calls, and I promise you, if you're good at sales, you'll make so much more money.
Agreed. I want to look back to burnout. And do we find that us or other coaches struggle with burnout?
I typically don't struggle with burnout, but I also have a much more balanced life. I'm behind the scenes in the businesses. I'm not talking to as many people as Michaela is. Michaela's on calls 24/7 all the time. She struggles to switch off at night. So she's always responding to employees 7 days a week, all the way until she goes to sleep. From the moment she wakes up to the moment she sleeps, she's on, and she can't switch her brain off. But I find it much easier to just be like, I'll get that in the morning. I'll respond to them tomorrow. So the question, I'm going to throw it back to you. Do you struggle with burnout? If so, how do you manage that?
I have multiple times. And I think I've learnt the hard way time and time again that you have to have some level of boundaries, which we'll dive into because I feel like I have a very different opinion on boundaries than what you probably see or hear on social media. But yeah, burnout definitely can happen in the coaching space because you are absorbing emotions of so many other people every single day. And you need to know how to obviously regulate your emotions and switch off. And I think when you care, and I care, and I know it sounds like cliche and whatever, but I genuinely care about every single one of our clients in our program. Sometimes, I know it sounds a bit weird to some people, and if you get it, you get it. I have dreams about some of them. Like, they're always on my mind. And I think some clients maybe think like we don't think about them outside of work. I'm always thinking, how can I help this one? How can we level this up? How can we change this? How's this person doing? This person was struggling with this. I wonder how they're doing now. Like, it is always on my mind because I genuinely care. And if you're a coach who does, it is so hard to switch that off. And are we fully honest? I'm still learning how to do that, and also having a team that I obviously really, really care about our team as well, and how to switch off from that and also be on. But I think you have to have something outside of your business. You have to have a hobby. You have to learn how to emotionally regulate yourself. You do have to set some level of boundaries with yourself. Go and learn a skill. You know, for me, when we were traveling through Japan, it was coloring in. I think I colored in like every single day.
Yeah, you did get through a couple of coloring books.
Like I had such a strong hobby around coloring in, and it was my outlet. Music on, candle lit, coloring books in, at peace.
Therapeutic.
So therapeutic. I also think that a lot of the burnout actually comes from just doing busy work. And so if you're on back-to-back, like 12-hour day of client calls, which I've been there, done that, and that is absolutely what burnt me out. But I've also definitely been through phases of business where I'm like, I'm so burnt out. But I wasn't really burnt out. I was just tired because I was filling my day with things that I didn't really have to fill my days with, because I had this external pressure that I had to sit at my desk from 9 to 5. And if I wasn't at my desk, I wasn't doing anything. But when I was at my desk, I was just like ticking off random things. Like I'd refresh Stripe, see if any payments have come through. I'd be like, I'm going to do my research on social media to find content ideas. And I just scroll social media for an hour, like things that don't actually move the needle forwards in the business. So I get to the end of the day, and it's like, what have I actually done?
I feel like for you specifically, but also maybe other health coaches out there, they feel like they need to be busy to be moving the needle forward. So they do all this busy work, and then they get to the end of the day and they're tired, and then over time they get burnt out because they struggle to actually step back and be like, it's okay if I work only 4 or 5 or 6 hours today.
Yeah.
Because as long as that 4 or 5 or 6 hours is productive and you're focusing on the right things that are actually moving the needle forwards in your business, that's going to be better than 10 or 12 hours of busy work every day for the week.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've actually learned this year is when I'm on, and when I'm off. And to not try and mix the two of them.
Cool.
You also have to remember that there will be a period of time in your business where you feel like you're putting in so much effort and you're not quite yet seeing the return. And that can also lead to burnout because you're like, well, I'm working, 10, 12-hour days. I'm making the sales. I'm doing the clients, but you're reinvesting. And it takes, sometimes you're seeing what you're seeing now, what you did for the past 3 to 6 months, right? So there's that delay.
Delayed, yeah. Okay.
And you have to still stick it out to be able to get to that point. But find your outlet. Essentially, if you feel like you're somebody who constantly hits burnout, you have to stop that and you have to change it. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to move your business forwards, right? So find your outlet, find a hobby, find a skill that you want to learn, get a coloring book. For me, journaling, find ways to regulate your nervous system. Stress management and emotional regulation need to become your best friend.
I love that. And on the topic of burnout, you hear a lot of online coaches and business gurus out there talk about setting boundaries. What do you think about this obsession with setting boundaries?
Yes. I love this topic because I feel like we have such a different idea, and I can't tell you how many people have come to us and they've maybe had another coach who has told them to set the strictest boundaries where they don't reply to their clients for 2-3 days.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I only respond to Tuesdays between 6 to 8 a.m. or something. It's like, okay, and then what else?
Yeah. And I feel the more support that you can give your clients, the better, right? The better results they're going to get, the better connection you're going to build with them, the more they're going to be able to get out of it. It's better for everyone involved. So yes, have boundaries to the point where you need to be on when you're on and off when you're off, and you don't have to be replying to your clients while you're out at dinner, and you can turn your phone off at a certain hour that you want and you don't reply till the next morning. Absolutely. It's not the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning. Yes. But these ridiculous boundaries of I will only reply to you once a day and I'll only reply to you 1 day a week. For a lot of people, I struggle to see how you can get the most incredible results for your clients that you possibly could with taking it to that level.
Yeah.
So yes, boundaries, but not this.
Yeah.
I don't even know the right word for it.
Over boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I think boundaries are bullshit because we live in a competitive world. There are thousands of coaches out there, right? Thousands of health coaches that probably do the exact same thing as you. And if you're going to respond to people once a week and call it boundaries, nah, that ain't boundaries. That's just called shit customer service. Of course, set regular boundaries. Like I'm not going to respond to you after 6 p.m. or something or 5 p.m. That's just normal. But don't be like, I'm only going to respond 2 days a week, 3 days a week. That's just called shit customer service. And then that client's going to complain about you. They're going to have this warped view of what a coach should be. And if other people out there can offer good customer service or good quick response times, then they're going to beat that other boundaries coach 10 out of 10 times. That's your advantage.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, Michaela, I want to ask you one question about sales because Michaela, if you don't know, is the sales master. She's so good at sales. So in 1 minute or less, give us a full rundown on your sales system and the ultimate way to sell as an online health coach.
Ooh, okay. I would say first thing, understand them. Know their pain points. Know what they're struggling with, right? What are the things and why aren't they achieving the goals that they have? Get very specific on their exact goals and what is currently holding them back from getting there, because you then are selling them the destination. You are not selling them the journey. And the best way for me to describe this is, let's say you're going to your European summer. Nobody says to you, right, you're going to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. You're going to drive an hour to the airport. You're then going to sit around at the airport for 3 hours. You're going to then be on one flight, cramped in economy for 16 hours. You're going to then have like a 6-hour layover where you're going to have to sleep on the floor of the airport. And then you're going to be on another flight for another 14 hours. Again, crammed in economy. You might be stuck to somebody who's shoving their feet into you. The person in front of you is like tipping their chair back and you can't even eat your meal properly. You'll be fed aeroplane meals that is going to make you feel bloated and not great. You're going to get there feeling incredibly tired. You feel dirty. You want to have a shower. Like, you don't sell the journey, right?
Yeah.
You're selling, you're going to get to Italy. Picture yourself drinking your Aperol spritz, laying in the sun, getting a golden glow from a tan. You're going to take yourself out and have the best pizza. Like, that's what you're selling. So you want to get clear on how you're going to sell them the destination. By getting on the sales call, and obviously you've gotten their pain points, you don't then want to list, okay, so my program has one-on-one coaching and we've got voice memo support, and you also get access to the course and you're going to go through this module and then you're going to do this, and telling them every in and out of the business. That's too much information. They don't care.
Okay.
They're like, how are you going to help me get to my goal that I have? Because that's what I want. If you can help me get there, great, I'm in.
They care about the result, not how they get the result.
Yeah,
Got it.
absolutely.
So in summary, you think really question them a lot when they first jump on the sales call, get clear on what their goal is, what their pain points are, and then sell them the destination, the big picture of what you can help them achieve and how you're going to get there, but not focusing on the specifics.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You don't have to get to the nitty gritty. Don't sit there listing things off.
Cool.
Sell them the end point.
Cool. And how does someone learn to become really good at sales in as short a time as possible?
Practice.
Practice.
Like, you have to get on the sales calls.
But what if you don't have sales calls? What do you think you should do?
Practice in the mirror. Practice to your teddy bears. Find somebody that you can practice on. The quickest way to learn sales is to have somebody sit there and just objection.
Okay. I would say something slightly different. I would say when you first want to learn, just read 1 or 2 books on sales. Find out what the highest rated books on sales are, and just read 1 or 2 of them. You get people who are stuck.
What are your 2 that you would recommend?
Ooh.
Or 1?
I love Spin Selling. Don't even know who the author is, but I love Spin Selling, SPIN selling. That's a system I use to this day. And I also love, I think it's called The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. It's his system on straight line selling. Maybe it's called straight line persuasion, but it's by Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street. Love him or hate him, he is a really good salesperson. So those 2 books. Alex Hormozy is also a really great salesperson. So he watch his videos. So is Sabri Subi, Sell Like Crazy in that book. But I think if you want just 1 or 2 books, Spin Selling and The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, will start with them, get that fundamental understanding of sales, but then don't go any further. Then you start practicing, then do exactly what Michaela said. Stand in the mirror, and if you don't have enough sales calls, get a sales job part-time for someone and just sell. Don't do this information overload where you're just only consuming in your mind and getting better as a salesperson in your mind. Practice is going to be better than any information you can consume. Just get that base level understanding and then go into practice.
I love it.
Cool.
James, how do you deal with clients who don't get results?
Don't get results. That's a good question. If you have tried everything you can and clients aren't getting results, go above and beyond for them. First of all, you should be going above and beyond for them. Give them some kind of bonus, right? So let's say your program is 12 weeks long. Offer to extend that program out by another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or another month, whatever depending on your client load. Show that client that you are willing to do what it takes to help them get results.
Yeah.
And let's say at the end of that program, they still haven't achieved amazing results. They're still kind of iffy. I personally wouldn't offer them a refund because you've put a lot of time and effort into that person. Even if you have a guarantee, I wouldn't offer them a refund. But if they asked and said, hey, I haven't got the results I want to get, can I get my money back? I wouldn't push back against that. I would say, yes, here's your money back. Because to me, if someone asks for their money back, I don't care what my guarantee is. I don't care if I have a conditional guarantee that says you must attend all these calls, you must do X, Y, and Z. If that person hasn't got the results I promised them and they have done a decent job at going through my program, I'm always going to give their money back because it's just not worth the bad word of mouth, and bad ratings and reviews that they might leave on our Google page or Facebook page or whatever page out there, or bad comments even on social media.
Yeah.
So they will respect you if you give them their money back if they ask for it. And I think that's just what I would do.
I completely agree with that. 100%.
Cool. And what do you think, Michaela, is the best sales funnel for health coaches?
Well, you can answer that one.
The best sales funnel for health coaches. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say it depends where you are as a health coach, what stage in your business you're at. So if you're just starting out as a health coach, the best sales funnel is the simplest sales funnel possible. Find what you can do that's not going to be overly technically complex. Don't send people to a website where they fill in their form and then have a complex follow-up email sequence. Don't do any of that. Keep it simple. Run an ad to your Instagram DMs and then book them in for a sales call. Sell them. Simple. Add to DM to sales call. 3-step process. You don't have to have any complex tech. It's literally just Instagram and Instagram ads or Facebook ads or whatever.
Yeah.
That's it.
Done.
And then sales call, like you might need Calendly or something to book them in, but you can even just book them in with Google Calendar. Like you don't need Calendly. And I'm pretty sure Calendly has a free trial or free.
Start with the basics.
Yeah. And there's other booking softwares out there as well. So
Yeah.
keep things simple as a health coach if you're just starting out. As you get more complex, then you might want to start to bring in slightly more complex funnels, like a VSL funnel where you send people to a page, they enter their information, they watch a video training, and then they book it themselves in for a call, but then you're following up with them. You don't need to do that as a new health coach, but it's good in the long run. But
Yeah.
when you're starting, just simple, simple, simple. So DM health coach. Now,
Cool.
Michaela, I want to ask you a couple of more personal questions because our hour of power is coming to an end soon. So I want to get a bit more personal with you. So a lot of online coaches make their life seem like a dream.
Yeah.
And as someone who's lived in all these dream destinations, you've lived in Bali for a couple of years, you've lived in Thailand, you've lived in Hawaii, you've lived in Japan. As someone who's lived in those destinations, what do you think of the Instagram dream life that all these online coaches portray? Is that the reality?
I feel like I'm like popping people's bubble here. It's not. It looks great on social media, and I wouldn't change a thing about the life that we have created. I love it, but I would be lying if I said it was easy and if it was all sunshine and rainbows. If I take Japan for an example,
Hawaii is kind of sunshine and rainbows.
that it is like
Literally.
But even if I take Japan, I love Japan. It is amazing, but traveling and trying to grow a business there I hit like a mental low, one of the toughest times that I have been through because I was working over 12-hour days, like on back-to-back calls. And when I wasn't working that, we were traveling or we were trying to explore an adventure, and it was way too much for me to juggle it all. There are amazing, amazing aspects of the life, but for a lot of people, and this was even me when I first started coaching business, I had created a job, a 12-hour-a-day job. And I almost felt like I loved parts of it, but I felt like I was also becoming a bit of a slave to it, and I wasn't actually able to enjoy the destinations that I was in.
I feel like it's a lot of, go on.
Now I feel like it's very different, and we've been able to create a bit more of a balance, but there are still absolutely sacrifices that we have to make, and there are so many pros and cons that we could obviously go into.
What would you say the biggest pro and the biggest con, or maybe plural, the biggest pros and the biggest cons of living in Bali are?
In Bali specifically,
Yeah.
pros are the people. Like you obviously get to meet incredible people, like-minded people. It is very easy to push yourself outside your comfort zone here. I would say it's also easy to go into a comfort zone. So either or. But you definitely can be challenged, and you're definitely surrounded by people who are also growing and evolving businesses. So you feel like you want to do so as well. It's also a very convenient place. If you want to spend extra hours on your business, you outsource your cooking, your cleaning, your laundry, everything, right? So you get a lot of time back in the day to pour into your business to be able to scale it and grow.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of posers in Bali. That would be my biggest con. And when I say posers, I mean people who, they pretend like it's this dream life. They post all this stuff on Instagram and it's like, looks so amazing. But behind the scenes, they have no clients. They're earning no money in their business. They might even treat the locals like shit, to be honest with you. They kind of abuse Bali. And I see these people, it's like this dream destination. But there's a lot of darkness that goes on behind the scenes. And I think it's sad when people portray this dream life, but without kind of showing the negatives in their own life as well as in the places they live.
And I get that it's hard to show the negatives, right? Like it's not like when I'm down and feeling sad, I want to pick up my phone and share it to the world. But yeah, there are definitely pros and cons, and it's not everything that you see on social media.
So what would you say the biggest pros and cons are of living in Thailand?
Ooh. I feel like it's kind of similar to Bali in that sense.
Bit more expensive.
Bit more expensive.
In Phuket, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Bit more
feel,
civilized, right?
yeah, but I also feel I found it a little bit harder to meet as many people as you can in Bali. I feel like Bali very easy to meet anyone.
Yeah, not as the community, the entrepreneurial digital nomad community isn't as strong in Thailand as it is in Bali for sure.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What would you say the biggest pros and cons of living in Japan are?
I feel like yeah, it was tough. It was really tough for us to find an entrepreneurial community full stop in Japan. So I feel for me, it was that of not feeling like, I think Japan, I definitely learned that I'm a bit more extroverted than what I ever thought, in the sense of I need people, I need my girl time, and I need to be surrounded by those people. So I struggle with that, and it's definitely a place where there's so much to do and explore and cultural things, and you want to be doing all of it. And so I felt like there was no real downtime because I was either working or I was like learning about the culture and exploring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very glamorized place, Japan, for traveling at the moment, and it's amazing. It was amazing when we were living there, for sure. But you have to understand that most people in Japan, the English level isn't great. Most people can't even speak English. So, and the community the online working digital nomad community, I think apparently it's growing, but it's not that great. So you have to understand, if you want to live there, you have to learn Japanese. You have to do your best to try and speak some Japanese, and then you have to look really hard to find other foreigners or other locals who can speak English, and that way you still get that social stimulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And finally, Michaela, I wanted to ask you pros and cons of living in Hawaii. What did you think?
Ooh, Hawaii was great. It was obviously the first place that we have lived outside of a Asian country, and it was awesome. Obviously, it was a lot more expensive than living in Bali. And it was harder to find an entrepreneurial community as such.
Easy to meet people because everyone's just American
Absolutely.
or
Yeah.
native Hawaiian.
I think you have to remember with Hawaii, you're literally smack bang in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. There's nothing around you. So food, the quality is not amazing. And obviously you're cooking and you're cleaning, and I don't know. Hawaii was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. I agree. Hawaii was interesting. I really liked it. Sunshine and rainbows. Literally, it rains, and then it rains like every day, but just little bits of rain, and then there's rainbows. It's kind of crazy. Beautiful people, a beautiful lifestyle, beautiful people. There are a lot of problems in Hawaii with locals and all that kind of stuff, like locals getting displaced because the prices in Hawaii are insane.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. It's the most expensive state in the US to live.
Yeah, but so picturesque, right? Like beautiful beaches, best climate we've ever lived in.
Yeah, for sure. We've got time for one more question, Michaela. So I wanted to ask you, is it smart to invest in a business coach right away? Because I know a lot of people watching this, they might be early stages in their health coaching or online coaching businesses. So do you think it's smart to invest in a business coach early on?
If you're thinking about that, ask yourself one question. How quickly do you want to move the needle forward in your business? How quickly do you want to propel yourself forwards? Because if you're like, I want to just absolutely balls to the wall send it, yes, invest. You will be challenged, you'll be tested, you will have a very clear pathway of what to do, how to do it. You'll have somebody holding you accountable. You'll have somebody who can literally get rid of all of that, stop doing that, do this. This is working, this is not working. You have somebody. And I have invested in lots of different business coaches. The most recent one that we invested in last year propelled our business forwards in ways that I could never imagine. Best investment I have ever made.
I would say when investing in a business coach, it's better to actually invest. Don't do these shitty little $200 group programs or $3,000 12-month group programs. The results are going to be night and day between that and one-on-one coaching with somebody who is legitimately good at what they do. Find someone who isn't just a business coach person. It's like a pyramid scheme. Yeah. Find someone who has actually done what you want to do, lived and breathed it. So as a health coach, find someone who has created and started and scaled a successful health coaching business and either still does that today on the side or has previously done that and is now helping other health coaches to grow to where they were or beyond where they were or get somewhere in that stratosphere.
Absolutely.
And then invest in one-on-one time working with them.
Yeah, and that's what we say at the the hub, the Health Coach Growth Hub, is that we have the undied, and we, for the foreseeable future will continue to grow that, and we can help coaches who only want to be just them in their business. Great, we know how that works and we can help you. Those who want to start to hire out and build a team, great, we know how that works, we can help you, and we will keep growing our business so that we can continue to help you continue to grow your business.
And by the way, for anyone wondering, that is our main source of income, is the Undied company. Like that is our main, where 90% of our income comes from, and we're going to continue growing that business to be one of Australia's biggest health companies.
Yeah.
And that's why we can help you as a health coach to grow your business.
Literally.
That being said, if you wanted to chat further about having us help you grow your online business,
yes,
then the best way to do that is to go to healthcoachgrowthhub.com/strategy-call. I think that's the thing. If that's the wrong URL, just go to our normal website, healthcoachgrowthhub.com, and then click on the button that says book a call. And then we will speak to you. And if you are a good fit for our services or programs, we will tell you a little bit more about them.
Absolutely.
Michaela, any final remarks or anything you wanted to say?
No. Actually, yes. I think just know that you're capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for in business. And that whilst, yes, there are going to be hard times, growing a business and doing what you love is quite literally one of the best things that you can ever do for yourself and your life.
Agreed. Life is electric.
Yeah.
It's electric.
Yeah.
Live it.
And there's cons and there's pros, but there is of absolutely every job that you do. So you may as well be doing something that you're passionate about and impacting other people's lives in any positive way that you can.
Love that. What a message to finish on. Put it here. Hour of power done.
Woo!
Bing, bang, boom. Go out there, grow your health coaching businesses, and we will see you when we see you.